welcome to my studio. Today we're working on our frosted snowflakes. We're going to show you what we're going to use for frosting, and it'll be a treasure that you will have for years to come. For our snowflakes, we're going to start with our base because you need the support to put them onto. I use skinny sticks. I found these at Walmart. You also could use popsicle sticks. You would just have to make sure that you put your icing on big enough that the sticks wouldn't show, but by coloring them white it helps blend in a little bit more. So I'm going to glue them together with E6000. I'm going to use 3 of them, and we're just going to put those right in the middle, one on top of another. And just try to get those as evenly spaced as possible. Make sure that you're the same length on each end as well. And I meant to put one more there, I didn't do that. You need to let your E6000 dry. They tell you 24 hours. I think 12 hours would be pretty stable. But you always want to use the E6000. It is a glue that will stay glued. You won't ever have to worry about it coming out. Then I used some cording. I just cut it the length I wanted. I just did one tie, put it in a knot, and it stays tied easier that way than it does just to get both of those ends corralled. So we're going to glue that all on. We're going to let that dry nice and good, and then I take it outside and I spray paint it with just a white spray paint, a real expensive one from Walmart, let's say, and you just need one down, flip it over and do the other side. You also can paint it. It's just going to take a little bit longer just using acrylic paint, but that is up to you. So get your do as many as you want. The more you do, the less time it's going to take, as long as you're doing them assembly style. For this project, we're going to be using caulk silicone, and this is Alex Fast Dry. You can paint it in 20 minutes, but that does not mean it is ready in 20 minutes. We'll talk about dry time a little bit later, but it is important to get this brand. I've been using this brand for several years. You do want the white. You don't want it clear. I do not have a problem with this turning yellow on me. It really holds its color, and it is nice and stable. I don't have any problems with it falling apart as well. I do purchase mine at Walmart. I can find it for about under $3, so check there. And if not, you could probably find it at any of your hardware stores or things like that. You can cut it off with your scissors depending on how fast you want it to come out. You may want it smaller, you may want it bigger. On mine, it also has a tip cutter that you can cut the tip off as well. This is just a caulking gun. You can find it in the section with the caulking as well, and we're just going to dispense it that way as we go. When I'm done with it, I just used a little plastic bag and a rubber band around it. You can just use saran wrap or something like that as well. And I have stored this for months at a time and have never had a problem with it drying out. So that is what we're going to be using. So let's get started on our project. If you did not have enough time to let the glue dry, you also could use a hot glue gun because you've got an absorbent surface. I would just like more security over time. So now I'm going to use saran wrap, and we've talked about what our frosting is, and we're going to put that into our saran wrap. So we're going to put in as much as you think you want to work with. I like to get almost a fistful, I guess, but that's doing several of these. Now, depending on how much frosting, you may use more or you may use less than I do. That's totally up to you. So, and then I'll show you how to seal that too, so you could use it again. Now, what we're going to do on our gun is we're just going to take a piece of plastic. It can be saran wrap. I've even used grocery plastic bags, so that's up to you. And put our rubber band over the top of it and seal it nice and tight. And I have used this several months down the line, and it's still nice and fresh. So get that nice and tight on there. And by putting it into the saran wrap, we're going to keep our bag a lot cleaner, so we don't have to worry about cleaning it out. So I've put this edge up here, and we're going to roll it. Then we're going to twist this as tight as we can get it. The tighter you have, especially one end, the easier it is to put into a bag. I'm just using disposable, smaller Wilton bags. I've used this one several times now, but you can throw it away if you get it messy. You can trim this end off if yours is too unwound and you have a longer piece. But you're going to stick that one edge down through that tip. I'm going to use my scissors here to get it down. We're going to pull this up over. So once you've got that through, then pull that nice and tight, pull your bag down, and you want to see the beginning of your frosting there, and that's what we'll call the caulking from now on. And we're going to throw that away, and we're going to put our tip on. I'm going to use a star tip, which is also a shell tip. This is a Wilton 21. And you may want to do it with something different. You may have all kinds of ideas for this project. So don't get just stuck in my ideas. I am going to work my way through each one of these. I did the lowest one first, and I'm going to do a shell and work my way. And I try to keep the same number of shells, but always start on the outside in. Don't go all the way across. I think teaching people, that's the hardest thing I had to tell them, was to do that on the outside. So we want this to come back a little bit past our stick so it doesn't show. So we're going to push and pull. When you're pulling that tip down, make sure that it is on the stick and it's not flipped up. That was another thing people had problems with. So push and pull down. Push and pull down. None of your stick should be showing. We're going to go all the way to the middle right there, and I'm going to stop. Now see, I've got that on my wax paper so that I can move it. Try not to get into it. Again, I'm going to the lowest part. I want to make sure that part doesn't get into it as well. Push and pull. Now another thing that you can do is you can color this with food coloring. You'd mix it up in a bowl before you put it into your bag, and you can change this to any color you want. I think I have a few more shells on that one than I do my other one, but think of things that you might like better than just the shell. If you're a cake decorating person, you may have some other ideas that you may like to try, or tips as well. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and then we're going to talk about coloring it. So we finished the snowflakes, and if you were doing more than one, get those all done, and then take a piece of your saran wrap or plastic of any kind, put your rubber band around it, and then put this into a Ziploc bag, and then this will be ready to go for your next time. So I've done it all the way around. You want to make sure that you have enough in the middle, but not too much in the middle. It should just be like one layer. There's so much you can do to this. There's all kinds of ways we can color it by putting certain types of glitter, doubling the glitter. I really thought I would like this one, and maybe I'll like it a little bit more in the bright sunlight, but the silver kind of almost gave it a dirty feel to me. I didn't like the silver as much as I thought I really would. So I'm using just some white fine glitter here, and while it's still wet, we want to just sprinkle it on, just nice and light, or as heavy as you want it. If you want it heavier, make it heavier. I'm going to actually, I think, do 2 different types this time. I want to show you some of the different types of glitter as well. Make sure you get the tips, and you can change the color for this. This is what is really, really nice. So I'm going to use a one of, and I don't know what it's called, a chunkier type of glitter. This is by Martha Stewart. It's more flakier, but this kind of gives it that big feel. And the nice thing about the shell tip is it holds this into place. So these can fit in there, and doesn't that really kind of give it that winter type of feel? I really like the blue with this. You could put pearls in it, you can put rhinestones in it, you could put some type of Christmas flower in the middle if you wanted to. Make sure you check out my Frosted Cross video. I've been doing a lot of those for Christmas this year as well as any time of the year. So, okay, we've about got him all done. And there's something, you really want to put something in the middle. We've got all these wonderful cabochon, Christmas cabochons at miriamjoy.com that would be really cute in the middle. And like if I was using one of these guys, I may want to put red or green on my snowflakes. So that's up to you. On these different guys, I put the different rhinestones on the end and one in the middle. So those are some other type of options. I'm going to take some of the confetti that I picked up from Walmart. I'm going to use that as my base, and I just have a snowflake sticker and a pearl, and I just kind of layered those up. I love to layer, and I'm going to kind of go catty-cornered. I'm not going to line it up with the ends, but kind of in between the different ends. Now you want to put it just enough that it doesn't start to come up and squish out, but it's secure and set in. So now we're going to let this dry, and it's going to dry at least 1 day, if not 2. One of the ways that you could kind of check is just to see how dry it is on the tips, because sometimes it can be dry near the edges but not in the middle. And it's going to depend on how humid, how cold, and other things like that. But I think these are really beautiful. You could even put pearls in it. There's so much you could do with this. So once these are dry, you're going to want to varnish them, and this also helps keep all of the glitter and everything in place. So it's real important. Any object you have with glitter, you want to varnish it to keep it into place. So I picked up an inexpensive one. It doesn't matter what brand. The one thing that we do want to make sure of is that it is non-yellowing, and I just picked mine up at Walmart for under $4. You could use Rust-Oleum, you could use Krylon, or you may have something that you are more comfortable with. Just do a nice good coat. You may want to do another coat or 2. If you're putting the rhinestones and different things into it, I just took a piece of painter's tape and covered it up. Another thing that you could use is a little tiny circle stickers, and just put the tape or the sticker over the top of it when you varnish, and that keeps your stone nice and clean. Another thing I did is, if you got it on there while it was still wet, just wipe it off the best you can. I hope you had a lot of fun with that. I can't wait to see what you come up with. You can always email me at art@miriamjoy.com. And for our little cabochons, our Christmas cabochons, come on over to miriamjoy.com on our website, and we have them there for you, as well as other fun, unique embellishments for the season. Have a Merry Christmas.